Aren't you afraid to be out here alone with a hungry vampire?
No.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the celebrity couples you might not know are married, or were married at some point in the past. They don't need to still be together to make the list.
That is my demo CD.
You made a CD?
Yeah. Hey, you know what's on there?
Huh.
That piece you helped me with. Remember the fugue?
Number 30, Charlie Day and Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
You are not her husband.
No, I'm her brother.
He's my brother, and he won't let me go out on dates.
To all you Reno 911 fans, yes, those incestuous siblings are married. No, they aren't actual siblings. For all you It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans, yes, Charlie Kelly is married to that waitress from the coffee shop he's obsessed with, but who ends up being in love with Dennis.
Charlie, this paint could be full of lead.
Are you serious?
I can't carry a baby around lead paint. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you expect me to live in the women's shelter while I'm carrying your child?
While their characters on screen haven't always seen eye to eye, Charlie Day and Mary Elizabeth Ellis have been on the same page about their feelings for each other since 2001. That was the year they met and quickly started dating. 5 years later, they were married, and in 2011, they welcomed their first child.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I love you.
I know, I love you too.
I love you.
No!
Hey!
No!
Wow, where does it say I can't French my
I don't know
sister?
for a fact that it says that, but I'm saying it right now.
Number 29, Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford.
This is my apartment. Women don't come here.
These names might not mean much to younger folks, but in the 80s and 90s, they were two of the biggest stars around. Richard Gere was a handsome, famous leading man, and Cindy Crawford was maybe the most famous supermodel in the world.
From DeKalb to New York. That's a long journey.
Yes.
Yes. Well, tell us what it's like for you now.
I live here in Chicago because I prefer living here because I'm close to home.
In 1988, the 21-year-old Crawford met the 38-year-old Gere, and 3 years later, they were eloping in Las Vegas. Just 4 years later, however, the couple would divorce. Crawford attributed the split to a number of things, including their different places in life and the too little time they'd spent developing a friendship in their relationship.
Want to have a drink?
It's kind of early for a drink. Maybe we get to that in about an hour. What do you think?
Number 28, Helen Hunt and Hank Azaria.
All right, what's with the plastic picnic wear? Why don't you try ours? You afraid it isn't clean?
You okay?
Yep.
Oh, I see the help. It's a judgment call.
Two of the most popular television shows of the 1990s were The Simpsons and Mad About You. And in 1994, two of the actors from those shows started dating. Helen Hunt, who was killing it as Jamie Buckman on Mad About You, and Hank Azaria, the voice of Apu, among many others, got together in '94.
What are you doing here?
This is not a sexist thing. If you were a waiter, I'd be
Are
saying...
you totally gone? This is my private home.
They were together for about 6 years, although they only spent the last year and a half of that time actually married. After tying the knot in 1999, a 6-month separation ensued, and Hunt officially filed for divorce. All was finalized by December of 2000.
Why'd I get mixed up with that bitch?
Because she got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it.
Number 27, Jared Padalecki and Genevieve Cortez.
Ruby, it's been weeks. I need it.
You don't seem too happy about it.
You think I want to do this?
There's nothing supernatural about Jared Padalecki and Genevieve Cortez's love story, besides the fact that they met on the set of said CW series. While Jared Padalecki was a constant on the show as one half of the Winchester brothers, Cortez's stint was brief. She replaced Katie Cassidy as Ruby the Demon in the 4th season, before being killed off later on.
Look, I know that it spooks you.
Skip the speech. I'm ready. Let's go.
Slow down there, cowboy.
Just tell me what I have to do.
The two actors met for the first time on set with quite the hilarious introduction, since Cortez was shooting in just her underwear. Following that semi-clad meeting, the two got to know each other for a few months before they began dating, and it didn't take long for the couple to say their I do's.
It's okay, Sammy. You can have it.
Number 26, Allison Hanigan and Alexis Denisof.
Wesley Wyndham Price. It's very nice to meet you.
Although Allison Hanigan was instantly attracted to Alexis Denisof when she met him on the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, their love story took a few years to develop. Denisof didn't want to date at work, but as the two became better friends and Hanigan started dating someone else, their mutual feelings could no longer be kept at bay.
You shouldn't come tonight. Is that cool?
Sure. Makes sense. You know, you'll be facing big, hairy danger.
Hanigan and Denisof began a relationship, and they've been together ever since. Buffy isn't the only show they have in common either, as Denisof played the slimy news anchor Sandy Rivers on How I Met Your Mother.
Robin, Sandy, Rivers, this is Mary. My date.
Speaking of How I Met Your Mother, co-star Kobe Smulders is also married to another celebrity, SNL alum Taran Killam. Number 25, Will Arnett and Penelope Ann Miller.
Scott, this may be solid gold, but to us it's lighter than air, because dreams never weigh you down.
No, dreams are in your sleep.
Most of us are still trying to get over the fact that Will Arnett and Amy Poehler are no longer together, so the fact that he was ever married previously isn't really on our radar. While it's been almost a decade since he and Poehler parted ways, it was 30 years ago that Arnett's first marriage ended.
Well, I'll start my own business. How hard can it be? Bzzz. Bzzz. We'll see who brings in more honey.
Although, another reason you might not remember Arnett's relationship with actress Penelope Ann Miller is because it came and went faster than anything you can think of that lasted more than 3 months. That's right. Arnett and Miller began dating in November of 1994, got married a month later, and less than 30 days after that, they were divorced.
It's over. All the endorsements, everything gone. Oh my God, I can't get a real job. It'll kill me.
Number 24, Jennifer Garner and Scott Foley.
Just thinking about you the other day. How are you?
I'm great, yeah. Wow, it's been like
3 years.
Yeah.
With all the publicity around Jennifer Garner's marriage and subsequent divorce from Ben Affleck, it's easy to forget that this wasn't the first time Garner had been married and gone through the hardship of divorce.
Tell me everything. What have you been up to?
No, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah, me too.
14 years prior, she signed divorce papers ending her marriage to actor Scott Foley, known for shows like Scrubs and Scandal. She and Foley had met playing a couple on Felicity in 1998 and were married just 2 years later. And while the divorce was made official in 2004, the couple had already been separated for a year by then, citing irreconcilable differences.
I was engaged, but it didn't work out.
Oh, sorry. His loss.
Number 23, Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller.
Everything all right?
Yeah, it was, his dad, he thinks he has pneumonia. I'm sure it's just a cold, and you know how he is, he'll be fine.
Yeah, probably.
Of course, we all know that Angelina Jolie was married to Brad Pitt. And it's also hard to forget her marriage to Billy Bob Thornton and the vials of each other's blood that they wore around their necks. However, of all her marriages, the one that often gets overlooked the most is her short marriage to actor Johnny Lee Miller.
Well, I know we've been playing games, but we're supposed to be on the same side, and we really need your help.
The two met on the set of Jolie's first big movie, 1995's Hackers. While they developed a romance during filming, that all ended when the movie wrapped. However, months later they reconnected and were married for about 3 years.
Sure this sweet machine's not going to waste?
Crash override. What was it? Mess with the best, die like the rest.
Number 22, Anna Paquin and Stephen Moyer.
Hi, what can I get for you tonight?
Do you have any of that synthetic bottled blood?
No, I'm so sorry.
There are those that say one should never dip their pen in the company ink, so to speak. It's a good general rule when it comes to romance in the workplace, but sometimes things work out. Like for Anna Paquin and Stephen Moyer. Having met on the pilot for True Blood in 2007, the couple started dating right away, even though Moyer was still legally married at the time.
You're our first.
Am I that obvious?
I knew the minute you came in. Can't believe nobody else around here seems to.
The divorce of that marriage was finalized in 2008, Paquin and Moyer were engaged in 2009, and in 2010, they tied the knot. As of 2024, Paquin and Moyer are still married and have 2 children together, fraternal twin boys born in 2012.
Anything else you drink?
Actually, no. But you can get me a glass of red wine, so I have a reason to be here.
Number 21, Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley. How could anyone forget that the King of Pop was once married to the daughter of the King of Rock and Roll? Still, there's so much hype surrounding the rest of Michael Jackson's life that we're not surprised his love life fell to the wayside in the press.
Michael Jackson?
Oh, God.
Michael Jackson?
I thought you were going to go here first. I was hoping you forgot.
His marriage to Lisa Marie Presley lasted just a year and a half, which was longer than the civil judge presiding over their wedding predicted. It was theorized that the whole engagement was a publicity stunt, but according to Presley, the two did try to reconcile a few years later. Us romantics at heart like to believe it was all genuine. Number 20. Peter Sarsgard and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
The idea in this room is to take inspiration from other artists as you make art.
Despite decades of work, numerous film and television roles, and countless awards, this humble couple has successfully managed to avoid becoming fodder for the tabloids. Married since 2009, Peter Sarsgard and Maggie Gyllenhaal have 2 children together, Ramona and Gloria Ray. The two met shortly after Gyllenhaal's breakout performance in 2002's Secretary.
So with the exception of a few potted plants from the florist, we're flowerless for the first spring in years.
4 years later, they were engaged. Sarsgard is close friends with Maggie's equally famous brother Jake, and the two have starred in multiple films together. However, other than the short film High Falls, Sarsgard and Maggie Gyllenhaal have yet to appear in a film together. Perhaps that's the secret to their marital success. Number 19. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton had been together for more than a decade before getting hitched in 2019. The two were introduced by their mutual friends, fellow celeb couple Jensen and Daniil Ackles, and began dating in 2009. Burton had previously worked with Daniil on One Tree Hill, while Jensen knew Jeffrey Dean Morgan from their time on Supernatural.
I want you to watch out for Sammy, okay? Yeah, Dad, you know I will.
Burton and Morgan quickly hit it off and would later appear in an episode of The Walking Dead together, playing, you guessed it, husband and wife.
I know.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton have 2 children and live on a farm in upstate New York.
Oh, hi, what's up?
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
Number 18. Troyan Bellisario and Patrick Adams. Troyan Bellisario and Patrick Adams met while working on the 2009 play Equivocation. And after becoming friends, they started dating. But Bellisario soon ended things. However, Adams refused to let the relationship die, auditioning for a bit part on Pretty Little Liars just so he could be close to his ex. Adams has been quoted as saying, "I prepared for this Pretty Little Liars audition more than I've prepared for anything in my life."
We used to sleep together.
The plan worked, and the two eventually rekindled their romance. They married in 2016 and had their first child 2 years later. The celeb couple isn't afraid to work together either, having shared the screen in 2 episodes of Suits, as well as a couple of short films.
Are you sure? Because you look very familiar.
Oh, that's probably because I've been delivering packages to your office for the last 2 months, but you haven't given me the time of day because you didn't think I was smart enough for you.
Number 17. Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armisen. Strap in because this next entry gets a little rocky. Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armisen met during a taping of Saturday Night Live in 2008.
Peggy, what time is it?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm just a woman. I'm not allowed to own a watch.
Moss was there to support her Mad Men co-star Jon Hamm, as well as to participate in one of the sketches, while Armisen was a full-time SNL cast member. A whirlwind romance ensued, and 3 months later the two were engaged. They married 9 months after that. Unfortunately, it was all downhill from there.
This season for her is all about change, and
Moss filed for divorce less than a year into their marriage, later calling the whole experience, quote, extremely traumatic and awful and horrible. For his part, Armisen tends to agree, telling Howard Stern, quote, I think I was a terrible husband. I think I'm a terrible boyfriend. Yikes. Number 16. Paula Abdul and Emilio Estevez. Nowadays, people can simply swipe their finger if they want to go on a date. But in the early 90s, things were a little different. Just ask actor and director Emilio Estevez, who allegedly used to call Paula Abdul on the phone to tell her how much he admired her work. They continued to chat for months before finally getting together for a date in 1991. Shortly thereafter, the two were engaged and wed in California in 1992. For all intents and purposes, the couple was happy. However, they divorced in 1994. Initially, some believed Estevez had cheated, but the truth was that Abdul wanted kids and Estevez, who already had 2 from a previous relationship, did not. Abdul later said, quote, it was heartbreaking for us both. Number 15. Christine Taylor and Ben Stiller.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
2 children, 6 film and television projects, 17 years of marriage. Christine Taylor and Ben Stiller have some seriously impressive stats. The two met in the late 90s while filming a pilot that never saw the light of day, and wed in Hawaii in the year 2000. It was only right that the two would meet while working, as working together would become a bit of a habit. From Zoolander to Tropic Thunder, Taylor and Stiller share an extensive filmography.
What would you say your trademark is, if you have one?
Well, I guess the look I'm best known for is blue steel.
While the couple parted ways in 2017, being together during COVID lockdown brought them back together. Number 14, Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy. These days, the first question that comes to mind when people think of Felicity Huffman probably isn't who she's married to. At least not after she was caught up in the infamous 2019 college admissions scandal.
And sentenced to 14 days in prison for her role in what authorities say is the largest college admissions cheating scam ever prosecuted.
However, one thing you may be surprised to learn about the former Desperate Housewives star is that she's been married to fellow actor William H. Macy since 1997. The couple has 2 children together, one of whom was the catalyst for Huffman's involvement in the aforementioned cheating scandal. Anyway, fun fact, Huffman and Macy both have their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So that's cool.
I vow to love who you are and who you become.
Number 13, Allison Brie and Dave Franco.
74 is the number.
So close!
Really?
It was 2.
Jesus.
How this celeb coupling managed to keep their relationship under wraps for so long, we'll never know. Allison Brie and Dave Franco were set up by friends, with their first official hookup taking place following a Mardi Gras celebration in 2011. Brie described their first night together in an interview with late-night talk show host Jimmy Fallon in 2020. They started dating shortly thereafter, and by 2015, they were engaged. They wed in 2017 and have been happily married ever since.
Hey, no, Tommy, we're happy for you. That's exciting.
Brie and Franco have collaborated on a number of projects, including The Disaster Artist and Franco's directorial debut, The Rental. Number 12, Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen. When funny people unite, sparks fly. At least that was the case when Isla Fisher met Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay, then I'll take a sports car.
The future Wedding Crashers and Borat stars met in 2002, when Fisher was still a relative unknown, and Baron Cohen was enjoying his first taste of fame thanks to the Ali G Show.
So, to all you lot watching this, but mainly to the normal people, respect.
Despite both of their careers exploding in the mid-2000s, they never neglected their relationship. Baron Cohen proposed in 2004, and following a brief 6-year engagement, the two got married in Paris in 2010. 3 children, several awards, and a handful of iconic roles later, Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen shocked the world with news of their separation. Number 11, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr.
It's not our fault you always get kidnapped.
I do not always get kidnapped.
This iconic 2000s couple met while filming I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997. However, their first date didn't take place until 3 years later. As the story goes, Gellar and Prinze Jr. were supposed to meet a mutual friend for dinner. When the friend didn't show, they decided to eat together anyway. That dinner showed Prinze Jr. a different side of Gellar, and it drove him crazy. A year later, Prinze Jr. popped the question, and the two married in Mexico in 2002. They welcomed a daughter in 2009, and then a son 3 years later. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. are still going strong to this day.
We're together because we like each other and we make each other laugh.
Number 10, Amber Tamblyn and David Cross. While their relationship has received its fair share of criticism due to their significant age difference, David Cross and Amber Tamblyn seemingly couldn't be happier.
My husband, David, makes me laugh the most when he shuts up.
Cross, who achieved mainstream success with his offbeat portrayal of Tobias Funke on Arrested Development, began dating his future wife in 2007.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
It has been noted that Cross was hesitant to make a move on the sisterhood of the traveling pants actress due to their considerable age gap. But once he did, it went better than he ever could have imagined. The two tied the knot in 2012 and had their first child in 2017. Number 9, Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel. With Joel riding a wave of top 40 hits and Brinkley fresh off the success of her role in National Lampoon's Vacation, these two must have been thrilled to make each other's acquaintance back in 1983. They would eventually marry 2 years later. But don't worry if you never realized they got hitched. The two entertainers have been married a combined 8 times. However, for 9 years the power couple made it work. Unfortunately, they split up in 1994, but not before producing a baby girl named Alexa Ray Joel. Thankfully, Billy and Christy remain good friends to this day. Number 8. Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. That's right, your favorite Game of Thrones hunk from Season 1 and Denise Huxtable from The Cosby Show used to be married.
Don't you think you're just blowing this a bit out of proportion?
The two said their I do's way back in 2007, long before Momoa's brutish portrayal of Khal Drogo entered the cultural lexicon. Bonet and Momoa have 2 children together named Lola Iolani and Nakoa Wolf. We don't know about you, but those are some seriously cool names. Probably just a byproduct of having super cool parents. It was a sad day in 2022 when we heard news of their split.
My wife being a very pretty woman, and she's beautiful, and I love her.
Number 7. Christina Hendricks and Jeffrey Arend. Now, here's one we didn't see coming. Arend, arguably best known for his turn as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's crass best friend Mackenzie in 500 Days of Summer, and Hendricks of Mad Men fame first met at a party hosted by Hendricks' co-star Vincent Kartheiser.
And listen, don't take this the wrong way, but a girl like you with those darling little ankles, I'd find a way to make him sing.
The two quickly hit it off, with Hendricks asking Arend for his digits that very same night. It didn't take long for them to fall head over heels for each other, and in 2009, they wed in New York City. 2 hard-working actors, they had previously stated that they didn't plan on having children, and by the end of 2019, their divorce was finalized.
I'm freaking out, man.
Number 6. Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig. We guess we shouldn't be surprised to learn that super spy James Bond was able to keep his marriage relatively under wraps. Craig and fellow actor Rachel Weisz began dating in 2010 and married just 7 months later. Talk about love at first sight.
I'm not sure I can forgive you, actually, Rachel, because you have come between me and Daniel.
Oh, no.
The 2 British actors had known each other for some time before that, but only began seeing each other romantically after working together on the 2011 film Dream House. Oddly enough, the 2 play husband and wife in the movie. If that isn't life imitating art, we don't know what is. Number 5. Uma Thurman and Gary Oldman. These 2 have a total of 7 marriages combined, so we suppose we aren't shocked to learn that one of them was to each other.
Don't be a...
The year was 1990, and Thurman and Oldman were 2 young actors on the rise. They would meet for the first time while filming the crime film State of Grace, and would ultimately exchange vows that same year.
You know, they don't even want to call it Hell's Kitchen no more. Renamed it Clinton.
Unfortunately, the union between the 2 actors was short-lived, with the couple choosing to divorce only 2 years later. Perhaps it was for the best, as both would go on to achieve enormous success in Hollywood. Number 4. Lisa Marie Presley and Nicolas Cage. As far as unlikely marriages go, this one is right near the top of the list. When the daughter of Elvis Presley broke off her engagement to another man, it was because she had recently met Cage at a party.
And there's this beautiful girl standing in the middle of the living room wearing this short leather skirt and this fluffy jacket, and she looks up at me with these big, beautiful, soulful eyes.
However, the singer with the famous dad and the actor with the tumultuous career would not stay together long. Choosing to get married in Hawaii, only 10 days removed from Cage's proposal, the union would last just 108 days. In fact, the time it took them to get divorced was longer than the marriage itself. Number 3. Jennifer Grey and Clark Gregg. If you don't know who Jennifer Grey is, we apologize that you missed out. Star of such films as Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, she was one of the 80s biggest draws.
Come here, lover boy.
And if he doesn't answer?
Oh, lover boy.
Her now ex-husband of almost 20 years is no slouch himself, having appeared in a number of Marvel films as the no-nonsense S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson. The 2 chose to keep their marriage quiet over the years, which explains why you've never noticed they were an item. However, they did appear together in an episode of The New Adventures of Old Christine, in which their characters go on a date.
You were wrong. He's cute.
Nice to meet you too, Tracy.
That must have been fun to film. However, the couple amicably divorced in 2021. Number 2. Alexis Bledel and Vincent Kartheiser. You know him from Mad Men, and you know her from Gilmore Girls. But did you know that they're married? The 2 met on the set of Mad Men back in 2012, when Bledel was cast for a 3-episode story arc in which she hooks up with, you guessed it, her future husband's character.
Don't tell me you're not happy right now.
Perhaps it was the steamy scenes the couple shared that ignited their passion. All we know is that 2 years later, they were tying the knot in California. Not long after, they gave birth to their first child in 2015. Unfortunately, the two announced their divorce in 2022. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Adam Brody and Leighton Meester. Damn you, Adam Brody! You had one job to do, and that was to marry your OC co-star and longtime on-screen girlfriend, Rachel Bilson. Alas, both Brody and Bilson ended up with others. And ironically enough, they're both actors. Brody fell for Leighton Meester while filming a movie together in 2010, and they married 4 years later. Bilson caught feelings for Hayden Christensen on the set of Jumper in 2008. Though they were engaged and had a daughter together, Summer Roberts and Anakin Skywalker separated in 2017.
David, if you don't want to tell me everything, that's fine. Just don't lie to me.
In all honesty, though, Brody and Meester are an adorable couple. In a weird way, Seth Cohen and Blair Waldorf feel kind of meant to be. In fact, we take it all back. You do you, Adam Brody.
Once a year, we have a Seth and Blair Day.
Yeah,
exactly. Dress up.
Which of these marriages had you forgotten about? Let us know in the comments.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.